I would like to thank Quentin Doles for sending me this story, and this story is it's going to be shocking to many of you, and it's also going to be very disgusting and disturbing. And before I even get started, allow me to offer my condolences to the lady on the left. Her name is Dorothy Mae Neal. And it is so upsetting that I even have to do a story like this, but I can't even be biased, especially with the content of what I'm about to tell you. So y'all better brace yourselves. On the right is a 14-year-old boy by the name of Tyrone Harvin. He is going to be charged as an adult for not only raping this woman, but also murdering her. You heard that correctly. A 14-year-old boy raped and murdered this 83-year-old woman. And this is coming out of Baltimore. Now, I'm shocked I didn't hear about this story more because it says that this happened earlier in the month, and we're at the end of September, and I'm surprised it didn't garner as much attention as I thought it should have or would have, considering that this kid is black. Let me go ahead and read this article. It says her last day of life ended brutally. Dorothy Mae Neal, who was 83 and a familiar figure in her neighborhood, often seen walking with her cane to the bus stop, was raped and beaten to death allegedly at the hands of a 14-year-old neighbor. Tyrone Harvin was charged with first-degree murder and rape. He was charged as an adult in accordance with Maryland law, said police spokesman T.J. Smith. Alerted by concerned neighbors who had not seen Neal for days, police found Neal unresponsive on August 26 in her apartment in West Baltimore. She was taken to a hospital where she died. Eartha Davis, a neighbor, recalled seeing Neal always venturing out of her apartment to catch a bus. Neighbors described Neal as an independent and trusting. It's sad when anyone dies, but she was an elderly woman, Davis said. It's very scary. It's the first time I've heard of anything so close. Smith said that as the police investigated the savage attack, they came across signs which were not described publicly that the suspect was young. But Smith added, I don't think any of us were thinking a 14-year-old could be capable of something like this. USA Today said that Harvin lived on the same street as Neal. Some neighbors on the street helped look after Neal, Smith said, and Harvin may have been one of them. Police said there were no signs of a forced entry. Physical evidence helped police identify Harvin as the attacker, Smith said. Every homicide is sad and tragic, but when we talk about our vulnerable victims, it just adds a level of tragedy to it. We're talking about people sometimes who are completely defenseless. They said the newspaper said that a preliminary hearing is set for September 19th, which was a few days ago. Now, I had to pause it right quick because Sis said it was a couple days ago, so I wanted to see if I could find an updated article, and this is what I found from 3 days ago. It says, police, teens' fingerprints found on condom wrappers where elderly woman was raped and killed. So we can pretty much rule out the fact, or saying that this wasn't him. If they got them fingerprints and they belong to him, which I think they pretty much ran through forensics, oh, he's going down for sure. It says Tyrone Harvin, the 14-year-old accused in the rape and murder of 83-year-old Dorothy Mae Neal, was indicted in court Wednesday afternoon. Nearly 70 years separate Harvin and Neal, but authorities said it didn't stop the 7th grader from beating the elderly woman, raping her, and leaving her to die. Harvin was charged earlier this month with first-degree murder, first-degree rape, and other related charges. He is being charged as an adult. Just weeks ago, neighbors at the Rosemont Garden Apartments in West Baltimore called police after no sign of the 83-year-old for days. She was found unresponsive. She died later at the hospital. It says the 14-year-old Harvin was arrested the next weekend. On Wednesday, the state announced he was indicted in district court. Charging documents paint a grim picture of what was found in Neal's apartment: a broken and bloodied lamp, dry blood on the floor, and used condoms. I can tell you right now, this is the youngest person who charged with murder in Baltimore City this year, and most likely in recent years. Harvin first told police he didn't know Neal, but later said he helped her take out the trash. Charging documents state the teen never admitted to the crime, but that his fingerprints were found on the condom wrappers at the scene. Harvin was charged as an adult last year for armed robbery, but those charges were later dropped. He's being charged as an adult in this case. In Maryland, rape and murder crimes mean children are automatically charged as adults. Harvin could face life in prison. His next court date is scheduled for October 19th in circuit court. I will try my best to stay on top of this. And as Quentin Doles, the person who sent me this, and I hate to say it, and I hate to put it on a young black man, but I feel absolutely nothing. I really do. Like, what possesses you to take advantage of an elderly woman? She lived 83 years of her life. How would she know that she would meet the end of her life by this piece of shit on the right of her in this picture? This is absolutely disgusting. And now that they said that he was picked up from armed robbery last year, and even though the charges were dropped, now they're going to say he has a history of just being a criminal. Now, I know what they're going to say. Where are his parents at? That's a good question. Where are his parents? Does he live with them? Like, this is some sad shit. It really is. I can't even be biased. I can't even, try to spin this into a whole nother way, because there's no way you can. Like I said, his fingerprints was on those condom wrappers at her house. Now you gotta wonder, what 83-year-old woman is gonna have condoms in her house? But I don't know. But the fact of the matter is, his fingerprints were on them, and the condom wrappers were empty. He was the last one to be seen with her. You put all that stuff together, he's definitely going down. And if they give him the life in prison, I can't, they say you can't save everyone. And clearly he does not want to be saved. Anyone who can do something like that deserves a lifetime of punishment. He's just very lucky that Maryland doesn't have the death penalty, because they would have definitely threw his ass in the chair. For sure. And he's a young black boy. They have no problem throwing him in jail. You know how I said that if I couldn't bring race into this, I take that back. I could, because if this was a young white boy, they probably would have tried to find any other way to try to get them off. But they're not going to even attempt to try to get him off. And they shouldn't. He deserves whatever punishment comes his way. I cannot defend this shit. I cannot. And if I see anybody in my comment section trying to defend this shit, you're getting blocked. Whether you've been following me for a while, or if you're a troll, you automatically getting blocked off rip. I don't care. You cannot defend this. But I offer my condolences to this woman and to her family and whatnot. And as for him, you better get prepared for what's coming your way. Because I hear in prison they don't take kind to rapists, especially when it comes to children and the elderly. Y'all let me know what you think about the story down in the comments. Like, share, subscribe. I'll leave the link to the story in the description, along with the contact information, and the links to the shirts will be pinned down below. I'll talk to you in the next one.